This week has shown that even gods can get tired of this puny earth and ascend back into macho heaven. Burt Reynolds was a true movie star, a mustache pioneer with enough swagger and charm to make even John Wayne say, "Damn, that guy's got a lot of swagger and charm." Burt Reynolds was everything. Stuntman, athlete, action star, but he was also underrated for his versatility, be it dramatic roles, comedies, musicals, and even sitcom work. You better believe I watched every episode of Evening Shade first run. A lot of Burt marathons are going to be had this week, so if you're looking for some titles to watch that showcase all aspects of Burt, including his Cosmo photo, here is my personal top 10 list of favorite Burt Reynolds movies in alphabetical order until we get to our number one choice.
Boogie Nights.
A hardcore dramatic comeback for Burt Reynolds, no pun intended. Burt received an Oscar nomination and critical praise for his role as 70s pornographer Jack Horner, a man who wants to make porno movies that are so good that you sit there in your juices till the movie is finished. Boogie Nights not only rejuvenated Burt's career, but showed the 90s that yes, Burt Reynolds is still much cooler than you are. Like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon come to life, not only do you have the comedic powerhouse of Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise, who are like America's answer to Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill, but this action comedy masterpiece features Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Jackie Chan, Peter Fonda, and a list of celebrity names that go on for an eternity. If you were a celebrity in 1981 and you weren't in a Cannonball Run film, then you did something wrong. Okay, so I may get some shit for this next one being on the list, but you know what? I don't care. I've seen it a handful of times. I saw it in the theaters, used to watch it a lot with my grandma, so it's going on my list.
Cop and a Half.
Cop and a Half is worth a watch to, yes, see Burt's comedic side, where he even lampoons his tough guy image, but the most notable thing about it, you get to see a full-length movie of grumpy Burt Reynolds constantly getting annoyed at a kid. Plus, Ray Sharkey is the villain, and Ray Sharkey is underrated as hell. Okay, now maybe the next one will get you back on my side. The movie that Burt would later call the best film he's ever been in, John Boorman's Deliverance, is one of the many iconic Burt Reynolds films, this one on a disturbing level. From the ensemble cast to the creepily quotable lines to the classic dueling banjos and Burt Reynolds with a motherfucking bow and arrow. Deliverance is still intense to this day, showing not only a horrific turn of events on a canoeing trip, but also taking a lot of time in the last act to show the aftermath of the whole ordeal. It's a true 70s classic. Underrated Burt Reynolds cop film about the investigation into the suicide of a young girl, Hustle was one of the best of the non-mustached Burt Reynolds films. The 70s really knew how to sell a movie. This movie features both Burt Reynolds and Catherine Deneuve, so really it makes sense that on the poster, all they had to say was, "They're hot."
The Longest Yard.
Due to the much more comedic remake starring Adam Sandler, many people forget how serious the original film is. Yes, it's still part comedy, sure, but given that it's about prisoners and their football team, the movie never forgets to still be gritty and pretty dramatic when it needs to be. And let's not forget that Burt being forced to shave his mustache in the film is one of the saddest scenes in movie history. His mustache is the source of all of the 70s powers. A sadly near-forgotten Burt Reynolds movie and easily one of my favorites, this 1966 spaghetti western stars Burt as an Indian seeking revenge on a group of outlaws who murdered his tribe. Like a lot of great westerns of its kind, this movie is unapologetically violent, brutal, bloody, and fuck yeah, Burt has a bow and arrow again!
Orion Pictures presents Burt Reynolds in Sharkies Machine.
This movie holds an extra special place in my heart for not only being one of the best Burt Reynolds movies, but also his best cop thriller, and it showcased his talent as a director as well. But most importantly, it was the #1 movie on the day that I was born. Seriously, I got this one on an old Warner clamshell, and I am proud to have this film in my collection. I've also got City Heat. Not one of my top 10 favorites, but it's fun. Sharkies Machine should be at the top of your list of marathoning great Burt cop movies. You could have a great movie night with this, Hustle, and another underrated Burt movie, Heat. And let's not forget about these two.
He never strikes twice, because once is enough.
White Lightning and its sequel, Gator. Two movie posters that say, if you don't watch these movies, you might as well cut your balls off. White Lightning not only features a great villainous turn from Ned Beatty, but what you really should remember is that Burt Reynolds stands underneath a car as it flies over him. All dedications to Burt Reynolds need to feature this image, one of the most badass things to ever come out of the 70s. And the #1 choice for best Burt Reynolds movie should really come as no surprise to anyone.
He's bound and down, loaded up and trucking.
For me and my family, this is one of the most quotable films of all time. I believe my parents went to see this around 13 times when it was in theaters, and at one point my mom could even quote the whole movie from beginning to end. The movie features Burt Reynolds at his most iconic as Bandit, who bootlegs Coors beer across state lines and is chased by Smokey Buford T. Justice, played brilliantly by Jackie Gleason. It's like a Southern fried Bugs Bunny Yosemite Sam cartoon. Directed with excellent car stunt perfection by Hal Needham, the movie is hilarious, action-packed, with a lovable and ultra-charming lead. The movie's a comfortable as hell and cozy flick. But don't stop there with your Burt marathon. There's still plenty you could watch for a very entertaining afternoon, whether it's Hooper, Seamus, Stroker Ace, Breaking In, Stick, or on the lighter side, Starting Over, The End, At Long Last Love, All Dogs Go to Heaven, The Man Who Loved Women. The sky is the limit on a Burt Reynolds day. Which is why it's really hard to narrow down just 10 Burt Reynolds movies. Burt Reynolds once said that, I may not be the best actor in the world, but I'm the best Burt Reynolds in the world, and he was definitely the best Burt Reynolds in the world. There is never, ever going to be anyone like Burt Reynolds.
Watch me kick.
Not gonna piss in the pool, is he?
I don't think so.
He's bound and down.